Hello, welcome to Everything in Between, the show that takes a... What are you doing? We're trying to record a show.
Sorry, gotta roll up the rim right here. And it's another loss. On today's show, we're talking about how you may be unconsciously gambling in your daily life. Let's dive in.
I looked at the wrong screen.
All right, episode 2. Thank you for tuning in last week if you did. If not,
What are you doing
what are you
with your
doing in the
life?
second episode?
Yeah.
Come on, go watch the first one first.
Go watch all 34 minutes of it.
It is quite long.
All right, Joseph, tell us what we're talking about today.
On today's episode, I thought it would be cool if we talked about how people are unconsciously gambling in their daily lives. Now, you may ask, what inspired you to talk about this? And there's a few things. The first being roll up the rim. Now, being a coffee addict myself, I find that I'm often buying coffee more during roll up the rim season. And that's not good. That's not healthy.
I personally stopped playing that sham of a game.
Definitely a sham.
Because last year when I played it, I bought 8 French vanillas. I don't drink coffee. Too hard for me. And I lost every single one. And I was so pissed off I stopped playing.
You know what? It is. But every time you go there, it's kind of like an adrenaline rush because it's a gamble. You could be getting something for free, so you're more enticed to buy it. I don't know. It's a weird mental trick. But to me, I looked a little bit deeper into it. I looked at everything in between. And I found that it was some sort of unconscious gambling. Like, you go to Tim Hortons to get a coffee. You don't go to Tim Hortons to gamble. But when there's something free on the line and we're more enticed to actually buy something, I find that it's super weird. It's just a weird spell that you get under.
It pushes you, just like gambling. Once you get that little taste of victory, pushes you to keep going forward.
Well, that was a perfect segue. Speaking of perfect tastes, I found out recently from an anonymous store supervisor at a Tim Hortons, a former store supervisor, that the company lines their cups, the inside of their cups, with a little bit of hazelnut. So, I've never heard this before. This person told me this. And I was a little hesitant, and I looked it up, and there was nothing online about it. But it's an exclusive. That's an everything in between exclusive.
You heard this from a former store manager, so as long as he was telling the truth, I mean, maybe now you know why Tim Hortons has that little fresh taste.
But you do notice when you're drinking Tim Hortons coffee, it's got that weird, distinct taste that just I don't
drink Tim's coffee. So.
Okay, but you've had Tim's coffee.
Yeah, I've had
we used to get Tim's coffee all the time.
I mean, I've tried it a few times, and you can taste where the coffee's from.
Yeah, line up a Tim Hortons coffee and a Starbucks coffee
with a McDonald's coffee.
McDonald's coffee.
Very distinct taste
with unmarked labels. Yeah. You could definitely tell which
100%.
one's Tim Hortons. And I think it is because of that hazelnut lining that they put inside their cups.
Yeah.
Now, this information I researched, and it wasn't online anywhere, but
why would you make that
coming
public?
from a store supervisor, I thought that
that's why everything is advertised with advertised contains nuts. Because I'm pretty sure they advertise.
In the store, I think on the door it says everything in this location may contain nuts.
Because that one person with peanut allergies ruins it for the rest of us. You know who you are.
Oh, do not shame our viewers who are allergic to peanuts, Keighn.
Sorry, but anyway, back to unconscious gambling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, this goes a lot further. So,
of course it does.
There's gambling and everything. At least to me, I see a big of this in pay-to-win apps.
A lot of the game apps, these pay-to-win, pay-to-play, or not free-to-play, pay-to-win.
Yeah,
is their kind of slogan for these apps, and it's kind of like companies are kind of tricking us into thinking that it's a free game. Just same thing with Tim Hortons. They're tricking you into thinking that you might get a free donut or free coffee if you purchase a coffee. So it's like a 2-for-1 deal, and if you win on a few different cups in a row, then you're laughing.
So some of the biggest, most popular apps on the App Store are 2 games. They kind of work off a summoning kind of gambling basis. Brave Frontier, which is an action RPG.
Okay.
Or not action RPG, sorry, an RPG game, and Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle.
Ooh,
also too.
Fancy.
Little Dragon Ball Z reference out there.
DBZ.
But Joe, can you explain DBZ to us?
I cannot.
Okay, anyway. Both these apps essentially work off a summoning system to get new characters.
Okay.
All right, and there's ways to acquire these gems or stones, depending what game you're playing.
Is one of those ways to grab your parents' wallets, steal their credit cards, and enter them into the app store?
Well, I hope our demo would be old enough to have their own credit card.
True,
But in
the
case you
millennial
are,
generation.
in case you are younger than the age of 18, yes, you have to pay to get these stones, and then in turn, you get to summon more characters. And let me tell you, when
Are
you
those
get
characters more powerful, I'm assuming?
not more, it's all a gamble. It's you can get a really good character, a really bad
Oh.
character. So it's literally like rolling a slot machine.
It is. It gives you
Like-
that sort of rush.
And when
right?
you, let me
Yeah.
tell you, there's no better feeling than when you get that high rank character. Oh, trust me.
Well, it's the same thing as loot boxes in
Oh.
video games, which are, like, a lot of the times you have to pay for these items. Like, for example, the game Overwatch, you can purchase a set amount of boxes rather than waiting to win them every few rounds in the game. So you can pay and get like 10, 20 boxes for quite a bit of money actually sometimes. Like it adds up. You can buy a whole bunch of boxes. Depends on how much money you want to spend. And through these boxes you unlock like skins, but it's all random.
It's
kind
just
of-
like gambling.
it
literally,
is
it's like going to the
gambling
casino.
without an age limit, and usually you're paying to gamble to for sure lose money but gain like other items, like virtual, real fake items in games that
Yeah.
often help you overperform.
Yeah, no real world value.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's all codes. It's all ones and zeros.
What it comes down to is us needing to kind of think a little bit more critically when we're using money to buy
Yeah.
things with the risk of gambling. Like, you're technically getting something out of gambling when you're buying like a roped rim cup. You're still getting a coffee, but I feel like a lot of people, myself included, purchase these items at a more frequent basis just because there's a chance
Of
to
winning
actually winning
something.
something. Yeah, you get that little adrenaline rush when you do win something, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll try again. But just one little last point about this subject. There's been an app recently, and this is not technically gambling, this app, but it is kind of an introduction to the idea of winning. And it's the app Quiz HQ. It's quite
Yeah, I
popping
play.
right now,
I
as the
play.
millennials are saying these days.
Yeah.
But and this is an app which asks you, I think, a series of 10 questions.
Yeah, 10 questions.
10 questions, and I think they have it once a day.
You have 10 seconds to answer.
10 seconds to answer each question. They start out a little bit easier, and then they get quite a bit harder once you hit like the third or fourth question. But anyway, this has been taking in around 1 million people the last few times that I've logged on the app. There's been about 1 million people playing this game. And the hook is, if you win the quiz game, you get real money. And
Yeah.
I believe you can cash out
At
when you
20
hit
bucks.
up to $20.
Yeah.
Like, but it's real money, and that's kind of giving people a sense of,
It's
oh, we
introducing,
can
yeah.
actually win money by like putting our time on the line. So you're gambling with your time to potentially win money. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't know, it's not gambling. You're not paying anything to
technically
get in.
not,
It's a
no.
free app. But at the same time, it starts planting that idea like in your head that, hey, I play a game, I can win money. So it's kind of like not that beginning
kinda
step,
scary.
but
it's kind of weird.
yeah.
There's no age restriction on these
No.
apps either,
No.
or there's no age restriction on buying a coffee, and there's no age restriction
On
on
loot
Brave
boxes.
Frontier
Yeah.
or loot boxes. And it's just kind of, I think it's good to kind of think about that. The fact that we are actually kind of falling into this gambling hole
Yeah.
at increasingly younger ages.
Actually,
It's weird.
interestingly enough, this kind of relates to it. The state of Florida is currently proposing a bill that may put an age restriction on loot boxes, specifically in video games.
That's interesting.
So
Maybe next week we'll discuss that. 'Cause
Yeah.
We're going to have an episode, I believe, next week focusing on microtransactions
Yeah.
in video games, and we're going to have a live streamer or video game
yeah,
aficionado on the show
Yeah.
to discuss this with us. But, yeah, that's all I really have to say about
So
this subject.
let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you use loot boxes? Do you play Brave Frontier or Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle? Have you wasted paycheck after endless paycheck like myself trying to get
have.
high level characters? We want to know.
Let us know in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and tune into everything in between next week when we go into further detail about microtransactions. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.